following up behind the person that has come to the attention of JSO.
Right.
But it's really an opportunity for us to get in there and then work with all of our community partners that a lot of them are here, that we are able to connect all the rest of the families with.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, to kind of to understand that is, when you've got a lot of services that go for kids who are violent, but how are you serving and supporting those that may be witnesses or influenced by it? So happy to hear that.
Good point.
Very happy.
Any other comments from the public? No other comments on it? Okay. This one?
Dr. Grass.
Did you vote on that one?
I move for.
Yes. I second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll do the next one for us. So the next one is an RFP. This is a program that we already operate and have operated it's actually started under Mayor Brown. It's been operating about 10 years now. The Mayor's Young Leaders Advisory Council. And working with Mayor Deegan and her staff, we're gonna revise the way it works a little bit, but a very similar program, and put it out to RFP. It'll be a year-long program for 50 students that go through it, and they meet on a monthly basis, do a service project at the end, and we're gonna try to incorporate more of this sort of advisory role where they really need to talk to the mayor a little bit more frequently, and we have the town hall with them and things of that nature. So this will be $135,000, and we'll put this out to bid once it's approved and scored, and we'll take them back.
Now, I might have not heard you correctly, but how do you find the folks, the kids to do this?
So it's actually in the executive order. 25 of the kids are recruited from the schools. So every high school is allowed, basically every high school sends one student. Then the other 25 are supposed to be assigned from the mayor's office. So they can choose to do that however they want. It says in the executive order that's supposed to be community-based and from churches and things like that. In the past administration, we did the recruit all 50 through the high schools. But I think going forward, they'll pick 25 and then we'll recruit 25 from the high schools.
So how long has that not been happening?
The 25 and 25 recruitment?
Yeah.
Well, the program's been happening, we just have not split the recruitment. Basically what they did was say, instead of us picking them, y'all pick them, or we don't want to get into, doing that. So I don't want to act like they weren't involved, but that was just their choice, was go ahead and keep doing it the way you're doing it.
Any questions on that? Okay. All in favor? Supporting it?
Move for approval.
Second out. All. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good. We did it. Okay.
So the second RFP that we have up is very similar to MyLac or Mayor's Young Leaders, but the goal of this one, and working with the mayor's office, and working closely with Pat McCullough on these items, it was to involve more kids. So since MyLac is a year-long program for just 50 kids, this will be a program that's going to meet twice a month, but every instance of meeting will be a different set of at least 40 kids. So that way, over the course of the year, we can have about 500 kids go through, but they'll get a one-day experience, like coming to City Hall, meeting elected officials, learning about how to vote, all of that kind of stuff. And then at the very end, all the youth that went through it during the whole year, we're gonna have like a one-day sort of summer conference with them, with a team town hall, a TED Talk, we'll have speakers. So this is the goal, is to basically, they might not be quite as deeply involved in it, but to have some touch with the government and kind of how we work, and to have more kids be able to go throughout the year. And part of this funding came from that transition committee that we had in December, where we got like the $6 million. We got $170,000 for this program. So that is being split, or combined with rather $100,000 that we're already spending on MyLac. And so we're gonna do 135 and 135 for each RFP.
And how are you identifying kids for this?
For this one, we said that they have to do it by council districts. So there's 14 days they'll administer it, and each one they'll work with their council member to try to recruit kids from the high schools in that area. That way the council can be like highly involved in putting on the one that's for their district. But it'll be to all the kids in that, those different high schools will advertise.
Okay,
And we will include charters too. But that's something else we need to put in here.
do I hear a motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Okay, that works. Good morning, everyone, again. The action item we have before you is for contract exemptions. We're asking the board to approve contracts based on the procurement exemption codes. Really, this is gonna be exemption code number 5 for both of these providers. For the terms of a term period, July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. So the amount come out to 3.688 million. The agencies we're seeking this approval for are Family Support Services of North Florida for the Child Abuse Prevention Program, and then United Way of Northeast Florida for the Full Service Schools Program. In addition to this approval through to contractors through the procurement exemption, we're asking for authorization for the CEO to execute these contracts in the amount previously stated, but up to 10% increase variance, and with any other documents necessary to accomplish this. Also, we're asking authorization for funding for 2 subsequent years. This will help us align with our most recent awarded RFPs. So that will line them up with those, and then when we're done, everybody can be on the same schedule. In your packet, you'll see the description for the exemption number 5. It is basically prevention services related to mental health and or child abuse prevention. So both of these providers fall up under that exemption as well as the services of the program. A little bit more information about the providers and their services. I want to highlight that the Full Service Schools program is a collaboration and funded between KHA, DCPS, and United Way. So this is a collaborative effort, as well as Family Support Services, and we do have representatives here. So please correct me if I say this wrong, but they're also like the regional caregiver. They've been recognized as a regional caregiver for these services. So that's really, I'll take any questions at this time.
Questions?
How many full service schools? Do we have?
Yes, Keto
Yes.
Porter serves the full service school
Oh,
director.
hello, Peter.
Good morning, good morning. So currently, we are in 155 traditional Duval County public schools and serving 30 charter schools, so a total of 185 schools that provide access to mental health counseling to over 128,000 students.
I don't know if any of you know this, but he's been doing this for a very long
And a great job.
His knowledge is beyond.
So yeah, really thankful for the partnership, and I'm excited about continuing to get into the true collaborative effort in regards to funding partners as well as social service partners. And we've provided a lot of support to many of our providers that are here and throughout Duval County.
It's always nice to see that. Love it. Okay,
Move for approval.
I hear a second. Second. All in favor?
Welcome again.
You're up again. You're up on.
Okay, so this last action item, we're asking the board to approve contract extensions. This is for a 6-month contract extension based on procurement's continuous of services. The period will be June 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024 for a total amount of $375,000. The agencies and programs impacted will be Boys and Girls Club, Charter Academy, Communities and Schools, Southside Estates Elementary, and Wayman Community Development Corporation, Spring Park Elementary. To give you a little background of how we got here, these programs were up under a previous RFP. They had one more year, so it's kind of a year off the cycle of our recent RFP. And we anticipated this is in the narrative, but these three locations were expected to be unavailable for the summer of 2024 due to DCPS's proposal for consolidations and/or constructions. We call it the red list as well. But these sites are now available to host summer camp. And so what the goal is to keep those services going for the summer. And then if approved, we also put requests for funding in the upcoming budget to add additional after-school sites. We would put these sites as well as some others out for competitive bid. This will approve continuation of services through December until we can get an RFP back out.
And students who access this don't necessarily have to be students of those particular schools, they could be from the neighborhood, or how's that?
Well, primarily, the students that attend these programs are from that school, and they work with the principals actually to identify the priority of those students. But there are from time to time students who aren't from those schools who can attend.
I move to approve the contract extension.
Yes, sir.
All in favor? Aye. I don't hear very many ayes. Is it all in favor?
It's only
We did that vote last time, and she's voting now.
So I'm not a committee member, I'm just here.
Okay.
I don't think I can say aye.
You can say?
We'll just say it more loudly.
Yeah, I
You say it's like, however not.
Yeah.
I'll say
We. Okay.
DCPS is here, but I'm not saying anything.
Well, we have one thing, okay, one more thing.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess we went into that. Again, but we have one more thing. Yes, you're right. Okay,
I was just saying if DCPS or like CIS, if anybody wanted to speak to what's the schools and all that kind of stuff, you're welcome to do that. Don't feel like you have to, Anthony, but I know you did. I didn't want you to feel like you got it.
Well, I'm Chancellor Boyd, supervisor of the after-school programs. I just like to say, I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing, and that extension will be amazing. And to answer Mr. Dennis, as far as the summer camps are involved, it's open up to like all kids. Anyone in the city.
That's awesome.
For fall, spring is for those particular kids who are out of schools. But yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and we just have a lot of work to do, and just going to keep doing it.
They were some camps from what time to what time?
Summer camps 8 to 5. 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, they have like a 2.5 hour academic time, Monday through Thursdays, and Fridays is mainly enrichment time. 90 hours. Yes, sir. Okay.
And I like to speak on behalf, Leon Baxter Communities in School, on behalf of the South Side of States, and thank you, because these students who are already in our after-school program, so now they get to continue through the summer, which is important, and that prevents the learning loss and everything else. So we truly appreciate it, and we're taking it through December. So real excited, and so we're ready. We have everybody on the way to get started for the start date and everything. But I thank Duval County and KHA for the support and allowing these services to continue. Because everybody knows summer, there's a lot of stuff happening. Keeping them busy with academics and enrichment and all kinds of other stuff is so important. So thank you.
you're welcome. Finally, you will see in your packet an individual board member self-evaluation. Sarah sent this to me Friday. This is something for your information. I assume the board will need to review and decide whether to proceed with the evaluation tool at next Wednesday's meeting, right? So I just wanted the timing on this just may be right. We want to talk about it before the board meeting and make sure that we're on track for what we want to do. That makes sense? Okay.
I just have a question.
Uh-huh.
Who came up with these, like, questions and where's the origination of it? Yeah.
This,
Okay.
can you do it, and I've had some thoughts on it too.
Yes, our old governance committee, basically, this has been a tradition that we've been doing annually. And one of the suggestions that Connie did make, that we did make a change to, was if the scale, the end, it was just yes, no, and unsure. And so she suggested to move it to a 5-point scale to get some more variation in people's answers. But that's part of y'all's discussion right now. We can add or delete any questions that you want.
I think there's gonna be a lot of questions about it, so you know, we all need to be thinking about it, so, especially on the board. Yeah, so,
So was I part of the board, the old board governance committee? Was I?
Thank you so much.
I don't know if you run finance or governance, I'm. Yes. We did not do this last year.
Okay.
We've done it every year prior to that. That has been KHA.
So
I reached out to a couple of compadres, and this doesn't always happen. So we gotta think about when the timing is right.
Well, I think annually it should be done.
Yes, but I don't know if we're ready for it yet, so I'm asking.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, just, are we ready for it?
Well, what's our yearly
Yeah,
schedule?
that's probably the question.
Yeah.
Because right now we're voting on kind of the development of the tool.
Yes.
So the tool in terms of what we.
Yes.
And then of course, there was the one for Sarah Lynn too,
Right.
but she chose to do, you know, that we do it now, this one.
What is it based, is it based on a calendar or contract? Like, what is it based on?
It was based on the governance committee's timeline and activities. So when we came up with that at the beginning of, when you became chair, we kind of voted that this would be the timeline. And this month was just the month that this one was in.
Okay.
Well, we decided all this back in, I guess, October, November, when you all came on the committee. So we could move it, certainly.
Like, it just should align with like, when we're getting new officers or whatever.
Yes, and that is actually, you're right, that is what it does. So new officers, they can continue, but the way it does is July 1 is supposed to be the year that they start. So it's kind of doing this right at the end of the current people, and then the new person, if it's new, we're saying, you know, could take it and say, okay, based on this, here's what changes I want to make.
Yeah, I think it's a good time for us to look at the questions and determine whether or not these are the questions of where we are today. You know, I mean, it was developed by the previous board, a very fine board. But I'm wondering, based upon, you know, kind of where we are and what our priorities are they different? So I do think even just having an open dialogue, I love the idea, Connie, of having, you know, kind of a numerical point assignment that gives us the value of saying, okay, here's where we are. But I do think maybe even looking at what our priorities, what our strategic plan.
Yeah.
You know, I act as a goodwill ambassador to the organization, you know, what are the opportunities for us to do that? How
Exactly.
how
We haven't
does
got
that-
it down to the site.
how does that manifest? Yeah.
I think it just needs, I don't know that we can do it today,
Right.
but I
agree.
do think that we should review it and come back with some comments or tweaks.
Mhm.
And I don't know if we do that in committee or,
I think we might need a little small workshop. something.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy to look at it and send it to the governance committee.
Yeah.
And then what I've done in the past on other boards was it's always been like a survey monkey or something, and then we've reviewed it together to see where everybody kind of lines up.
And that's what we'll do once we.
Yeah, I think that's great, that's exactly what I was hoping.
So how would we do that? How would we discuss this instrument, Reese? Would it be appropriate to do it within the board meeting, or is it appropriate to do it within, like?
Possibly. Maybe set up a workshop to just focus, people, you know, publicly notice, but no action would be taken, and you could just openly discuss your thoughts and comments and something like that.
Okay.
And then maybe you have like a more refined product that everyone's happy with to present to the board in a meeting.
I think that's great.
Could you do that Zoom if there's no action taken or no?
I think you can do it on Zoom if it's a workshop, but we'll double check on that. Yeah, I think you can, but
Not that we have to, but just
Yeah.
make that option.
Yeah, it's good added option.
Okay. Is there anything else to come before us? Public comments? We want to hear from you. Any more?
We do have one more thing.
Have a grant presentation.
Grant review. Jessica and Eric.
Eric.
Are doing a grant review for you.
Okay.
Come on up.
I apologize. Please come up. Please come up.
And this was on your activities and timeline for March, but since we had so many policies to go over, we moved it to this month.
Jessica, I couldn't see you back.
You
are.
All right, so we'll get started. So my name's Eric.
Jessica Pitts.
So we're just gonna do a brief, gonna kind of go back and forth. I'll do a brief overview of each grant that we have, and then Jessica will talk about the financial information. So the first grant that we're gonna speak about is the Jacksonville System of Collaborative Care. So JSOCC program integrates system of care principles and offers communities access to health professionals with the capacity to provide medical, mental, behavioral, and transition health services to children and youth at risk or experience serious emotional disturbances or serious mental illnesses. So then for each grant, since this grant is coming to the end, these numbers are from the full time that the grant has been around, which has been 4+ years. So you can see almost 2,500 youth have received behavioral health care coordination referred to by therapeutic or psychiatric services. Almost 500 youth successfully completed high fidelity wraparound services, and a little over 500 individuals have been trained in mental health related trainings.
Okay, and the financial portion, as Eric stated, this grant is coming to an end. We were granted a no-cost extension to spend whatever dollars were left over from the previous years. We have an extension until June 30th, and I do see the provider drawing all those funds down. If not all, then we're gonna get pretty close. This grant does come with a city match, and that city match pretty much covers the salaries for the Eric and the contract manager for the grant. And the top portion, it just shows you how much revenue we've drawn down from the grant to date. And the bottom portion just shows you the expenses to date, the salaries and benefits, as well as the portion from the subcontractor, which is managed access. So we do anticipate drawing down all those funds. Our next drawdown will take place at the end of the month. So at the next report, you'll see those numbers starting to come down.
All right. Our next grant is RECAST, which stands for Resiliency in Communities After Stress and Trauma. So with this grant, this framework creates an ecosystem of care to solidify, sustain, and build upon community-based participatory efforts. Meet the needs of high-risk youth and their families, and as well promote well-being, resiliency, and community healing. Over 6,000 youth and family in Health Zone 1 have been served through the provisions of resilience activities, trauma-informed summer camps, and faith-based trauma interventions. A ton of trainings have gone on, mental health trainings, mental health workforce and related workforce members in behavioral or mental health trauma-informed approaches. And then this one is, I love this statistic, provided over 1,000 youth with trauma-informed behavioral health services through the collaborations of different partners through this grant.
And for this grant, we are in year 3 of 5. We do not get a city match for this grant, so everything comes directly from the grantor. And again, the funding covers a portion of the salaries and benefits for those who are working on the contract, as well as, for the grantor, the subcontractor, which is managed access. So again, the top portion is just the revenue we've drawn down to date, and, a drawdown for the April will be done towards the end of this month. And this, one of the great things about these grants, at the end of the year, we do our final, annual federal, financial report, and any funding that is remaining from the previous year, we do request to carry it over, and, luckily, we've been granted that every time we request it.
All right, so the next grant that we'll be speaking about is the CREATE grant. So that stands for Co-Designing Rich Environments for All to Thrive Every Day. The CREATE System of Care grant will expand on the SOC components of family-driven, youth-guided, and cultural competencies to address 3 priority populations of children identified by SAMHSA. So these priority populations would include children and youth with special health care needs, children transitioning from pediatric to adult care, and then also LGBTQ+ children and youth. And this is our first year with the CREATE grant, so it's starting up. There's not that much data on it yet.
Like Eric said, this is brand new. We are in year 1 of 4, and we do get a match for this grant of $75,000. We did get a late start on this one, so the numbers, they look a little off right now, but no doubt that the subcontractor will draw down as much as they can this first year. The drawdown for April, again, will be done in the end of this month. Pretty much, and again, this covers a portion of the salaries and benefits for those working on the grant.
Okay, so INSPIRE, which stands for Identifying Needs and Supports to Partner, Intervene, Re-engage, and Educate. This multi-agency comprehensive anti-gang program for youth is a collaboration that mobilizes faith and community organizations and partners with the government and private sector. INSPIRE integrates key components to reduce and sustain reductions in community, youth violence, and gang victimization. 91% of youth are on track to graduate grades 9 through 12 at time of enrollment. INSPIRE has graduated with high school employment or is still enrolled in school. Over the duration of the program, 94% of enrollees enroll youth with a criminal record have not been arrested, and then 86% of youth 16 years or older obtain gainful employment within 8 months.
And this one, we are in the fight. Well, this one was granted a no-cost extension until September 30th of this year. We do anticipate drawing down all of those dollars. Again, this one also has a city match, which covers, again, a portion of the salaries and benefits for the managers. And yeah, we anticipate drawing down every penny. As we should. Yes, ma'am.
So CJRG is next, the Criminal Justice Reinvestment Grant. The primary goal is to screen and assess all youth entering the juvenile justice system to identify early social and emotional health issues. CJRG fills the intervention gap at the front end of the juvenile justice system by connecting youth and their families with behavioral, social, emotional, and educational needs. So you see 89% of the youth did not reoffend while enrolled in the programming. 81% of youth successfully completed the program. 93% of the youth did not reoffend within 6 months of discharge from the program.
Good knowledge.
And for this grant, we are in the final year. This one is a little different from the other ones. We submit invoices on a quarterly basis. Our quarter 2 invoice has been submitted and is currently under review, which is why you see where it says intergovernmental revenue is still sitting at the $100,000 for the first quarter. We're still waiting for approval on the second quarter invoice. Once that invoice is approved, we'll get the additional 100,000. Okay.
And then the last one that we're going to speak about today is the RISE grant, which is responding and intervening through strength and empowerment. So RISE builds the capacity of families and communities by providing services to youth who exhibit violent behaviors. And so with that, 83% of the youth enrolled remain violence-free. 86% of the program youth have not reoffended, and 93% of the youth not enrolled in school have re-enrolled in an educational program.
And this is fairly new too. This one, we are actually in year 2 of 3. And we are, this one does have a city match of 32,000, again, which goes portions of salaries and benefits. And we do anticipate, again, drawing down as much as we can this year. We did get a late start last year, but we are, I guess you can say, playing catch up. And again, we do anticipate drawing down all of these funds. The drawdown for this one will be done in the month of May as well.
And then the last slide here, we just wanted to show all the key partnerships of all of these grants. So Vicky is the maestro behind all of this, and it really does take a while to realize that all of these grants have partnerships through all the different grants. It is kind of like a spider web of care when you really start to look at it, and that everybody's trying to help everyone out, maybe in a different way with the different grants. But we know that, you know, the partnerships are really the key to this thing. That's it.
Any questions or thoughts or excitement about it?
Excitement about it.
Yeah.
We have, maybe our next board meeting, I know May is Mental Health Month. I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for any one of those providers within the recast or the category that talked about specific mental health services can present to us.
Sure. I'm sure they're all there.
Quick question on Health Zone 1. I know 3209 ZIP is in Health Zone 1. What are the other? Is it just 3209?
02, 04, 06, 08, and 54. 02, 04, 06, 08, 09, and 54. Am I missing any of them? Those are the ones that I know.
That was a great presentation, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, public comments? Okay, public, we'll hear from you.
I just wanted to add, I'm sorry, Leon. I just wanted to add, even though these are the key partners on here, systems of care is really built around the community partners and the providers and the community. So while we named some of the ones that we have lots of contracts with, there are so many more. When I think about full service schools and communities and schools and Malachi, Washington, there's so many more that we are partnering with that just didn't make it on there. But to develop a system of care, you can't do it. So 95% of the funds that come to us go out to partners and to the community, because the idea is that you also hire people who live in the community to also help with the work. So, and we appreciate the support because that has been a key value at KHA as well. And so we've been able to really involve all the providers, and then every contract that seems to come through here is another partner that we're able to connect with. So.
Any other comments? Are we ready to adjourn? Yeah?
First of all, I want to thank everyone. First of all, May 28th is the last day of after school, so
Yeah.
get a little reprieve, and it's been a wonderful year. Working with the Gulf County Public Schools, partners, full service schools, and others. We start our summer camps June 10th, and we wanted to do it as close to end of school as possible. So we don't lose our kids. And it'll run from June 10th to July 19th, all day, free. We love it. And academics, as Mr. Boyd mentioned in the morning, with certified teachers, fun enrichment stuff in the afternoon. And we have a strong partnership with the library also. And we're going to be doing some activities where they'll be coming onto the campuses of our elementary sites. Wanted to also share that CIS has been hosting, we're in several schools, 20 after-school programs. By the way, we're running 20 summer camps, by the way, I'll let you know that, so we're going to be busy. We also hosted several Teacher Appreciation Week. I don't know whether you realize it was Teacher Appreciation Week, and we did a lot of stuff just thanking the teachers for everything that's going on that we hear. Our teachers are doing great work and along with the school board, so they really appreciate it. We did donuts, all kind of tacos and all kind of other things for those teachers. So we're excited about that. Rejects, if you don't remember, we're in CIS operates 4 reject sites, Reynolds Lane, Lucas C. Payne, Pinedale, and Rolling Acres. And these programs have a major focus on case management, parental involvement, and literacy. And I can tell you, I just looked at the data for these sites, and the attendance is outstanding. The students are doing well. As a matter of fact, the principal at Reynolds Lane is hosting a meeting to share some of the third quarter data that she's excited about with REJAX and our partners. And those of you who don't know, we partner very strongly with the Star Foundation because of the parenting piece and the cornbread. But it's been an outstanding model, and we're real excited about it. So when you have a principal decide that she wants to invite people to come out and brag about the partners, that's pretty cool. And at some point, I might bring this principal to this one gets me too. Sometimes you need to hear from the principals who really are the ones that make it work out of the school. So again, none of it would be possible without your ongoing support. So thank you, and working with Kenneth and Dr. Grass and the team, they got outstanding and everything that and they've been busybodies too. So,
Okay. Yes, please.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm KHA Sardine, and I am a part of Cohort 5 with Parents Who Lead, and I'm currently working on my project. So hopefully one day I'll be able to share that with you all, and that's amazing about all the projects that you currently work. And I'm so happy to be here. It's my first meeting. I got lost. KHA Sardine, just like the fish.
Thank you. Yes,
I
Keto.
also just would like to just share briefly on May the 21st, which is next Tuesday, Full Service Schools and 988 will be hosting an open house that all of you are welcome to attend.
Yes, I actually did print flyers.
Okay. Would love for you all to come and just see some of the great work that's going on, and the funding and partnership that we have with KHA is a part of that presentation. So really would welcome all of you all to come out and see some of the work that's not only at one site, of course we have 8 full service school sites, but we'll be hosting at the Sandalwood site, and we'd love to have you all to attend.
As always, you promoted well.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Any other comments? Are we ready to adjourn? I think we are, right? Thank you.